All right, grand community, I want to say congratulations and put your mind to rest because disbursement is at your doorstep. As you all know, in my previous video, the country director came out to address the community regarding what they are be doing backstage, and disbursement is at the doorstep. I want you to prepare yourself and put your house, and your heart at rest because disbursement is ahead of us. Take all the take time to listen to this video and make sure you subscribe, guys. Welcome to the update and bye for now.
The tide is turning. The tide is not favoring some people anymore. Certain names that you know were authorities in this ecosystem to control what you need are no more saddled with this responsibility. The greedy, the wickedness, the hatred, the fighting, the conflict that looms among themselves has cost them a generational fortune. And you won't say this is anybody's activity. We use our hands to destroy ourselves. Black people don't always value opportunities when they see one. They allow self-centeredness, greed, tribalism, egotism, pride to outclass the advantages and the prayer that God has already answered for them. In this life, it's not all about someone prophesying to you. You need to conduct yourself in a way that allows this prophecy to manifest. Prophecy prophesied without you presenting yourself or conducting yourself in a more godly and unified manner will imply prophecy not fulfilled. You might pray, you might fast. Yes, it is true. If there is a man to pray, then there is equally a God to answer. But God answers those who present themselves worthy of the advantages that they are seeking for. I've never seen anyone from the olden times that are so arrogant, so material, and so self-centered that see good things in the hands of God. What is going to occur in this ecosystem in the ensuing days is going to serve as a lifetime lesson to so many people who are authorities and leaders in this country. The most disturbing thing at the moment is why the delay, because you don't even know if the grant is going to be disbursed as was speculated, as was envisioned. Nobody is aware right now if for certain there will be disbursement, except certain few people that are very close to authority. That is why I said the silence ongoing in this ecosystem hold both bad news and good news. Remember, earlier in this process, it was revealed that the data that was submitted or the schedule that was submitted to the government authorities for disbursement was full of repetitions, malpractices, NGO repeated in multiple places, recipients of the grant repeated in multiple places in the schedule, which shall lead to one person receiving alert as NGO CEO in more than 10 or 15 places, and that shall deny some certain NGOs the privilege of receiving this disbursement. Therefore, on noticing this government new committee are now reviewing this data. They are not using the former template for disbursement. They are using the government portal, the one that sends the BVN and the name of the NGOs. So disbursement will now take place through the government portal. A given NGO will only receive alert once. Hence, it will go around to a whole lot of NGOs. Remember, this money, a certain percentage, which we have spelled out before, about 25 or 30% of the entire amount, is penciled down for disbursement, and this particular 25 or 30% will be disbursed to a certain number of NGOs. It might be between 5,000 or 10,000 NGOs. Therefore, anyone that is telling the masses for sure that it is going to be 50,000, 300,000 or 1 million naira is merely speculating, because the government authorities haven't actually come up with the total number of NGOs to be disbursed to. It is on knowing the total number of these NGOs, they will divide this 25 or 30% of the entire money to the number of this NGO. Then they divide it again to the total number of beneficiaries. That is where anyone can boast of knowing the entitlements of a recipient or NGO. For example, if we have about 5,000 NGO to be disbursed to, then that implies 5 million recipients, with one NGO accommodating 1,000 recipients. So in such a case, when this say 5,000 is come up with, certainly, then you now divide 25 or 30% of this grant to the 5 million beneficiaries, or 8 million beneficiaries, even 10 million beneficiaries, as the case may be. That is when you can now say, yes, a given recipient will receive this amount. Every other figure circulating are mere speculations at the moment. Having achieved this, the next thing this committee is looking at are those projects, the states and the local governments where the project is going to be executed. Too many questions is already circulating. Who are those being selected to participate in the project? And who are those going to serve as the state, the regional and the local government coordinators? This is another area that is constituting delay at the moment. Selection of people across the 36 states and across the 774 local governments is not going to be an easy task. But as we already know, disbursement is going to start first, being succeeded by the project. But these two events is going to be flagged off at the same day. What the government authorities were doing were to streamline those policies that favors the kick-off of disbursement. Hold down your faith because the government has signed it. For those arguing that how can the federal government approve disbursement and the CBN governor still review that approval, you have to understand that government approved disbursement to be taken place, but mandate the CBN authorities to review and streamline those financial policies that will ensure the successful disbursement of this grant without upsetting economic indices. Therefore, the CBN governor is already doing that. Like those sophisticated devices that are being deployed at the moment, is to ensure every NGO CEOs is monitored. And taking up these data in Excel template, rendering them in sophisticated devices in the CBN portal consumes days too. But thank God that period is over. The essence of this is to ensure every CEO in this country is monitored. Governments don't play around money in the hands of civilians when money is being churned out into the accounts of civilians, especially with the ongoing terrorism, kidnapping and nepotism in this country. They are striving to ensure everyone is monitored. Like those CBN authorities, they don't just want to churn out the money into the account of NGO. If anything goes wrong, the first authority to be questioned and hold responsible is the CBN, then the NFIU and the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. And these people don't want to play around with their work. Nobody wants to lose his or her job in this country. So when you notice delay, not as if this activity is not ongoing, they have passed so many hurdles. We are now in the very final stage. So the disbursement is going to happen like level pans. I sense this second week of July holds the good news everyone in this ecosystem has been anticipating. Despite what you are hearing everywhere, hold and build your strength around the good news. I'm giving you this good news with full confidence from verified sources. Disbursement of this grant has been approved. Hold your ground. Blind your ears from every speculations and news that meant to increase or aggravate our health state. Disbursement is here.